Greetings from the coast of Maine, and as you can clearly see, it's winter time, and a snowy winter it's been, and I love it. The only thing better than playing in the snow is playing in the snow with some of the creative artsy things that you've made, like the color waves that you see here. This land art installation is quite long, stretching in a serpentine line across this athletic field. In the summer, Little League teams play here, but in the winter, it's all mine. Well, mine and the dog walkers. Now, this color wave consists of smaller pieces of assembled foam. I use the vividly colored foam that you can buy in just about any craft store. Now, each segment of the wave is simply pushed into the snow, packed in there, and that keeps it in place. Of course, this is meant to be temporary. I usually strike the set after a few days. But while it's up, it adds some color to the lives of everyone who sees it. In this case, mostly dog walkers. Now, the snow version of my color waves began as a project that I experimented with back in the fall, before the snow came. Now, this version is made out of neon-colored poster stock, not foam. And I like the way it looks so much that I made many, many more pieces intending to install them in the landscape here. But then the snow came, and so now my paper waves were never deployed. They're hibernating until the spring when the snow thaws and the land starts to dry up. So stay tuned. Now when it's too cold to play outside, I move my creative focus indoors and set up my color patches. My granddaughter says that this looks like a toxic chemical leak from Dr. Seuss. Now these color patches are made from the same neon-colored poster stock as the color waves. I love that material. I love the colors. I love the way it's easy to cut into these biomorphic shapes with curves and everything. I love exploring new ways to use this material. Now, for example, here's another indoor artsy project that leverages the poster stock. I call this piece Color Trails, and for this installation work I use almost the entire sheet of the paper stock. I simply cut a curvaceous line in one end. I think the effect is striking because of the contrast in the layered colors and the way the curved cut line counteracts with the straight sides and square corners of the rest of the piece. And as you can see, I can cover a lot of real estate by creating a very long color trail. Since I have a small house with very little floor space, I set this up in the town hall in the village where I live. Town hall used to be a school building, and this was obviously the gymnasium. Oh, here's another project that I set up in that gymnasium space. Unlike some of my other projects, this one isn't intended to be installed on the floor. This one is intended for white walls, a lot of wall space, but alas, I don't have access to that much wall space. Now these are digitally created multi-panel semi-abstract landscapes. Each panel is 18 by 22 inches, and in theory, they could go on indefinitely. I started with this desert landscape inspired by Monument Valley, that place that you see in those old John Ford westerns. It has these high plateaus and distant mountains, kind of some earth tones in there mixed in with it, and I kind of gave it an etched look, so it actually looks like it's some kind of an etching, but it's not. And then after that I blasted off and created this wild extraterrestrial landscape, complete with vivid colors, weird moons, stars and suns, and bizarre geological formations, or are they life forms? It's kind of surreal, don't you think? Now coming back to Earth, this is a nocturnal landscape. It's the most abstract piece in the series. It's just 3 colors really, black and 2 shades of blue, with a hint of a crescent moon and a shooting star in the sky area. I see this as a river or lake flowing through a night-darkened terrain. What do you see? And this piece, well, this is the quietest one of them all. It's a misty morning landscape that I think is obviously inspired by Chinese paintings. It's still, serene, and soft. And if I have time for just one more artsy project to show you, let me share this one. I call these my pattern ribbons. They're long strands of double-sided pattern paper twirled around into different formations, connected by connectors. I wish that I had more wall space and ceiling space for this piece. Heck, it could even travel along the floor, too. Just give me the space, and I'll find a way to fill it with colors and patterns. Just give me the space. Please!